Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com, and I'm here today to give you a little bit of an update on this channel, and specifically this series of lessons on the Arduino Uno R4 Wi-Fi. You can go ahead and pour yourself a nice tall glass of ice cold coffee as I give you a little bit of an update. So, no doubt, many of you are asking what happened to lessons number 45 and 46. Lesson number 43 and 44, probably 42, 43, and 44 were about using the active and passive buzzers, and we had come up with a little circuit based on the S8050 BJT transistor that allowed us to drive those buzzers. And then what you will notice is today, lesson 45 and 46 are missing. And what I want to do is just kind of give you a little update about what's going on there. Okay, for those lessons, what I had done was I'd showed you how you could design a motor controller, a DC motor controller, using the S8050 transistor and a flyback diode. And I kind of took you through the circuit analysis, and I took you through the circuit build, and then I took you through the coding, and then I showed you mine working. Lesson number 45 was just basically how to control the motor, running it through the transistor. And then lesson number 46 was my homework assignment for you to go out and kind of modify or advance that lesson by controlling the motor speed with the potentiometer. So that sounds pretty straightforward. But after releasing lesson number 44, I got reports back from a few people. For a lot of people it worked, but for a few people I got a report back that the transistor was overheating. The transistor was getting really hot. Okay, so as I dug into this, likely what happened was before I started, I measured the gain, the beta of my particular S8050 transistor, and then I looked on the spec sheet for typical values of the gain, and then I designed the circuit based on those typical values. But apparently there can be some variation depending on manufacturing date, manufacturing batch, and the manufacturer itself. There can be sometimes a wider variety of the actual beta or gain of the transistor. And so if you happen to get a transistor that had a higher gain, there's also probably on those resistors that we're using a 5% uncertainty. And so if you had a resistor value that was a little bit under spec, and if you had a gain that was a little bit over spec, you could begin to draw a current that would be getting very close to the limit of that S8050 transistor. And so indeed, you could imagine that it could get really hot, and you could imagine that you probably don't want to operate that close to the margin. So based on the feedback that I got from a couple of people that had a problem, I just dropped those two videos because I don't want people going in and overdriving a transistor in case they get one that had a little bit higher beta than mine did and the one that I measured. So what do we do from here? Well, never fear, you will get to use the handy DC motor if you come back to lesson number 47, which we will release next week, next Thursday on schedule. It will be using the TA6586 DC motor controller. Basically, that takes the transistor and takes the flyback diode and puts it all in a neat package and a beefier transistor that's really designed for controlling motors. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to redo those lessons using the TA6586, which is in your Sunfounder kit, and use that to control the motor. And so that is sort of where we're where we are and where we're going with this. And so I've always used I've used many times these little BJT transistors to control the little DC motors, but I'd always sort of done it in the context of my class classroom where you would have 10 or 15 students working on it. But when you release it to a wider audience, you get in there where there's a greater chance that you're going to run into people that have transistors with higher gains. And so I just decided the best thing was just to drop those 2 lessons. Now, if there's interest and you would really like to kind of go back to bare bones and redo those lessons based on using a transistor, then what I need to do is I need to look up and find a better transistor, and probably a MOSFET would be better, and then get you guys to order a MOSFET, and then I could go back and redo those lessons using a transistor, that you build from the ground up, and a flyback diode that you incorporate into your circuit. And the good news is that a transistor, the transistors are just like $1 each or a couple of bucks. We could probably get a box of them for $10 or something like that. But you guys give me feedback. Do you really want to go back and kind of do things from scratch and build the circuit with a transistor, or do you want to just move on and use the TA6586, which I've got the next few lessons built on? Okay, so one of the things that we learn is that using that transistor, it's not a digital circuit. It's like we're really going in and starting to work with analog circuits. And when we're working with analog circuits, sometimes it's not as clean as in the digital world where things are just on and off. That beta does matter. That beta is going to control how much current your circuit draws, and therefore we have to be a lot more mindful about variations in the values of components that happen between batches. Okay, guys, I just wanted to give you this channel update so that those of you who are taking the class in real time, as well as those that come along later, are not going to just be sitting scratching their head. Why did lesson 45 and 46 not there? Where can I find them? Well, you're just going to go to lesson 44, and then you're going to jump to lesson 47, and everything will be fine. Okay, guys, I appreciate your patience with this. We will continue with the DC motors, and then we've got a lot more very exciting stuff coming up. We do some work with the ultrasonic sensor, do some echolocation, some distance projects, and then right now what I'm beginning to work on, the classes that I'm beginning to work on, are using that 10-axis sensor chip that's in the kit, and that measures, it has 3 accelerometers, it has 3 gyroscopes, it has 3 accelerometers, and it has a pressure sensor. And so there's sort of like 10 degrees of freedom that you can measure with that thing. And there's some really, really exciting things that you can do with that chip. And so after we finish the echolocation work, then we will be going on and having some fun with that IMU chip. Okay, guys, leave me some feedback down below if you want to just move on, or if you really want me to go back and have you order a beefier MOSFET transistor to do those, to redo some of those DC motor things. Okay, guys, Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. Just a quick check-in with you, and I will talk to you guys next week.